My brother's laugh was a knife, sharp and cold, slicing through the quiet of our family's living room. I stood there, frozen, as my most humiliating moment echoed from his phone for his wife to cackle at. I'm Lila, 28, the screw-up sibling who never quite got it together. Jake, my older brother by 3 years, was the golden child, charming, successful, married to Clara, a woman who seemed to glide through life with effortless grace. Growing up, Jake was my hero. He'd bandage my scraped knees, sneak me cookies when mom wasn't looking, and tell me I'd be somebody someday. But heroes fall, and Jake's pedestal crumbled the night I learned what he'd done. It was 6 months ago when I hit rock bottom. I'd just been fired from my third job that year, a barista gig I'd clung to despite the burns on my hands and the manager's constant yelling. That night, I came to Jake's house, my safe haven, drowning in self-doubt. I sat on his couch, sobbing, spilling my guts about how I felt like a failure, how I was terrified I'd never amount to anything. My words were raw, ugly, the kind you only share with someone you trust completely. Jake listened, his face soft, nodding like he understood. He hugged me, said, "You'll get through this, Lila." I believed him. I didn't know he'd recorded every word. Fast forward to last week. Jake and Clara invited me over for dinner, a rare gesture since they'd moved into their glossy new house. I was trying to rebuild, new job, therapy, a fragile hope that I could be more than my mistakes. The evening started warm with Clara's lasagna and Jake's easy banter. I felt like I belonged, like maybe we were the family we used to be. Then Jake's phone lit up on the counter. He grinned, a glint in his eye I didn't recognize. "Hey Clara," he said. "You gotta hear this." He tapped his phone, and my voice filled the room, shaky, broken, spilling the confessions I'd made that night 6 months ago. "I'm such a loser, Jake. I can't do anything right. I'm scared I'll end up alone, worthless." Each word was a punch, my vulnerability weaponized. Clara burst out laughing, a high, cruel sound like she was watching a comedy sketch. Jake joined in, his eyes locked on me, not with love but with something mean, triumphant. I stood there, my fork clattering to the plate, my face burning. "Why?" I whispered. Jake shrugged, still chuckling. "Oh, come on, Lila. Just a joke. Lighten up." Clara wiped tears from her eyes, gasping. "You were so dramatic." I wanted to scream, to throw the wine glass at the wall, but I just stood, grabbed my coat and ran out into the night. The door slammed behind me, their laughter still ringing in my ears. I drove home in a haze, tears blurring the streetlights. How could he? Jake, the brother who'd carried me on his shoulders at the county fair, who'd promised to always have my back, how could he betray me like this? And Clara, who I'd thought was kind, laughing like my pain was entertainment. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on my couch, replaying the moment, wondering what I'd done to deserve it. Was I really that pathetic, that easy to mock? The next morning I woke up angry. Not the quiet, simmering kind, but a fire that made my hands shake. I wasn't going to let this slide. Jake didn't get to humiliate me and walk away clean. I called him, my voice steady despite the knot in my chest. "We need to talk. Now." He sighed like I was being dramatic again, but agreed to meet at the park where we used to play as kids. Neutral ground. When I saw him leaning against a tree with that same cocky grin, the fire flared hotter. "Why'd you do it, Jake?" I demanded. "Why'd you record me? Why'd you play it for her?" His grin faltered, but only for a second. "Lila, you're overreacting. It was funny, okay? Clara thought it was hilarious. You need to stop taking yourself so seriously." "Funny?" I stepped closer, my voice low. "You took my worst moment, my trust, and turned it into a joke for your wife. What kind of brother does that?" He rolled his eyes, but I saw a flicker of something, guilt maybe. "Look," he said. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I don't know, I thought it'd be a laugh. Clara's been stressed and... So you threw me under the bus to entertain her?" I cut him off. "Do you have any idea how that felt? To hear my pain played back like it's nothing." He shifted, uncomfortable, but didn't answer. For the first time, I saw him not as my big brother, but as a man who'd chosen cruelty over kindness. I turned to walk away, but he grabbed my arm. "Lila, wait. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't think it'd hit you this hard." His voice was softer now, but I wasn't ready to forgive. "You didn't think," I said, pulling free. "That's the problem. You didn't think about me at all." I spent the next few days wrestling with what to do. Part of me wanted to cut Jake out of my life, To build a wall so high he'd never hurt me again. But another part, the part that remembered him teaching me to ride a bike, couldn't let go. I called my therapist, who'd been helping me navigate my self-worth issues. Confrontation is about boundaries, Lila, she said. You need to decide what you'll accept and what you won't. I knew she was right, but it didn't make it easier. I decided to talk to Clara. Maybe she didn't know how deep this cut. Maybe I could make her see. I texted her asking to meet for coffee. To my surprise, she agreed. At the cafe, she looked nervous, her usual polish dulled. Lila, she started. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to laugh like that. I don't know, I just followed Jake's lead. Followed his lead? I leaned forward, my voice tight. Clara, you laughed at my lowest moment. You think that's okay because Jake thought it was funny? She looked down, twisting her napkin. I know it was wrong. I felt awful after you left. I told Jake he was an idiot for doing it. I didn't know how to stop it in the moment. Her apology felt genuine, but it didn't erase the sting. You could have said something, I said. You could have told him to stop. She nodded, tears in her eyes. You're right. I should have. I'm sorry, Lila. I want to make this right. I didn't know if I believed her, but her words planted a seed of hope. Maybe she wasn't the villain I'd painted her as. Back home, I sat with my thoughts, trying to piece together what family meant. Jake's betrayal wasn't just about the recording. It was about the trust we'd built over years, now fractured. I thought about our childhood, how he'd always been the one to lift me up, and how somewhere along the way he'd changed. Or maybe I'd just never seen this side of him. I wondered if I'd changed too, if my struggles had made me a target, someone he thought he could mock without consequence. I decided to give Jake one last chance, not because he deserved it, but because I needed closure. I invited him to my apartment, a place he hadn't visited since I'd moved in. When he arrived, he looked out of place, his usual confidence muted. Lila, he said, I messed up. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you like that. Didn't mean to? I crossed my arms. Jake, you recorded me without my consent. You played it to make Clara laugh. That's not an accident. That's a choice. He ran a hand through his hair, pacing. I know. I was being stupid. Clara's been stressed with work and I thought it'd lighten the mood. I didn't think about how it'd make you feel. You didn't think about me at all, I said, echoing my words from the park. That's what hurts the most. You're my brother. You're supposed to protect me, not humiliate me. He stopped pacing, his shoulders slumping. You're right, he said quietly. I've been a lousy brother. I got caught up in my own life and I took you for granted. Can you forgive me? I wanted to say yes, to hug him in disclosing and go back to the way things were. But forgiveness wasn't that simple. I don't know, Jake, I said. This isn't something you fix with an apology. I need time. I need to know you'll never do something like this again. He nodded, his face heavy with regret. I'll do whatever it takes, Lila. I swear. We sat in silence for a long time. I didn't know if I could trust him again, but I wanted to try. Family isn't perfect, I told myself. It's messy, painful, but worth fighting for. I thought about Clara's apology, her willingness to own her mistake. Maybe there was hope for us, but it would take work, real, honest work. Over the next few weeks, Jake started showing up. He'd text to check in, bring coffee to my new job, and listen when I talked. He wasn't perfect, but he was trying. Clara, too, reached out, inviting me to lunch, asking about my life like she cared. Slowly, the cracks in our family began to heal, not fully, but enough to keep going. I learned something through all this. Trust is fragile, but it's not impossible to rebuild. Jake's betrayal taught me to stand up for myself, to demand respect, even from those I love. It wasn't easy and it wasn't over, but I was done being the punchline. What do you think? Was I too hard on Jake, or did he deserve worse? Should forgiveness come easy when family betrays you? Or is trust earned back through actions, not words? Share your thoughts. There's no right answer, but I'd love to hear yours.